My guests, Gabriela Gonzalez, Marketing, Business Development and Communications. Leroy Peters, 2019 National Cocoa Award winner. They have been, making me feel a bit better about my work this morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Pleasure.
And we are going to talk this morning about the National Cocoa Awards 2019, which took place on the 10th of February. And Mr. Leroy Peters, you won.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Ah, a little better now.
A little better.
Yes, a little calm. It's calmed down now.
This is the Grand Riviere Cocoa Farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was it like for you to win this competition? You said you feel better.
Well, I was really surprised. I didn't expect a small farmer to win. I thought those people who win it a long time with big guns. Well, so I was waiting for my certificate to go home.
Gabriela, not all the time big people win, right? Or big people in the game.
No, I think what happens is we've changed the system of how we. The International Cocoa Awards, the inaugural National Cocoa Awards, which Leroy won, is actually a competition that is a precursor to an international competition where we send 5 entries from Trinidad up to the Salon du Chocolat in Paris to the Global Cocoa of Excellence program. And usually what happens is it wasn't organized maybe in a very robust way. And I think CDC, TTL, the Cocoa Development Company, as the government special purpose company that drives the cocoa industry, we sort of spearheaded this competition where we wanted to really get a broad field of participation from farmers. So it would have been the first time that a lot of farmers like Leroy and the other 5 winners, people like Mr. Stanley Butcher, Mr. Charles Mary of Santa Cruz, Michael and Jacinta Milne, and you also have Mr. Martin Matthew of Tamina. It would have been the first time a lot of them would have entered to go forward to the international competition. So we actually had entries from 32 farmers. So he actually copped and won in a field of 32.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But what is the purpose of this competition? What are we expected to gain from this?
Well, in the first place, Trinidad, people always say we have the best cocoa in the world, and there's a reason for that. In the last few days, there's been an international Cocoa of Excellence program recognizing and awarding global quality. Trinidad, since the inception of the program in 2009, it's a biennial competition. We've usually placed in the top 10 in the world. So that's one of the reasons we decided to have the competition, because we really wanted to, encourage the farmers to participate and get broader representation from the country itself to send up a wider variety of samples, as well as to strengthen the reputation of brand TT out into the world. Because when you win International Cocoa Awards, you could actually maybe get higher prices for the cocoa that you export. And that is important to economic diversification.
Yeah. And well, Mr. Peters has mixed crop cocoa farm of 12.5 acres.
Yes.
And from what I understand, you do this with your wife.
Yes.
Who is really the boss on that farm?
Well, she is. She's watching.
You see? So tell me what goes into cocoa farming.
Well, devotion, commitment. Because in 2016, we had this horrible freak storm that wiped out everything. And we had to build from one tree at a time, bring back everything into production. And she has been the driving force to help me to keep going. And then the CDC came in to make sure that quality and get you up to international standards. And there's now a drive to, since this, I'm seeing that Grand Riviere has so much potential. And I'm just waking up to see what we can do.
What is your ultimate goal for the cocoa industry?
Well, yesterday, I was in the garden about 4 a.m. in the morning and realized the young people in the area were meeting me and saying, "Hey, you big up the village, good work." And I said, wait, what if we cultivate 100 acres and get everybody involved? And this beautiful product that we have, let people know it's coming from Grand Riviere. So and they said, I called the CDC, they said, good idea. We'll go with it.
And so hopefully you get support.
They will get support.
You see?
Yeah, because that's one of our critical roles. And even not just our role, because we provide a lot of technical support to the farmers and assistance with production and quality, but certainly also the other members of the National Organizing Committee. We all have critical areas to play, such as Export TT, Cocoa Research Center for the plant genetics, and we also have the ministry for their support as well. because it really is an industry that needs it needs attention to get it to where it could be, because we know it used to be in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're trying to reinvigorate that.
And people like Leroy Peters and others who would have
Yeah.
done exceptional in this competition should be able to drive the industry now, move forward with it.
Yeah, they should, and not only that, they should have actually a lot of prominence. Like Leroy didn't mention, but one of the things that he won was actually a trip to Paris.
Yeah.
To the actually final awards, where, because we've had scenarios too where Trinidad has won awards and we have not a representative there. There was nobody to like hear and you know and and receive it personally. So this is something we wanted to ensure happens.
Yeah. And you know, Gabriella talked about Trinidad and Tobago, you know, being known to have one of the best cocos. What do you think makes our cocoa one of the best?
Well, it looks good. It looks good. It tastes good, because I grew up in an estate and we always eat the beans, suck you know that flavor. And just to see the trees, how they bear, it's different. Everything is different. So I always knew we had a good product. I was wondering, well, maybe we could show the world by agrotourism, but I never knew it was that good.
And isn't there a cocoa dance?
There is a cocoa dance, but it's more done for like cultural practices and tourism. It's not exactly the best. How should I say? It's not the best OSHA practice. And food safety. But it certainly is. It gets people certainly involved and excited about being on the estates. And just to piggyback on what Leroy said, one of the reasons we did the competition as well is Trinidad has the best cocoa because of our genetics. We actually have the true Trinidad and Tobago Trinitario. That's one of the new brands and tags that we're trying to push forward, because it celebrates what was born here. Trinidad is one of 10 countries in the world with final flavor cocoa. And that's an incredible designation and honor. It means all we produce is actually premium quality cocoa.
Right.
And this competition celebrates that. It celebrates the fact that the hybrid was born here. It celebrates our history of genetics. It celebrates the fact that we've been cocoa bean exporters for over 100 years. And once we'll be the third largest cocoa bean exporter in the world.
And hopefully we can get back to where we once were. Thank you very much, Mr. Leroy Peters, the winner of the 2019 National Cocoa Awards, and Gabriella Gonzalez. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.